Good morning, one and all. Am I audible? Am I audible, please? Am I audible or not?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So let us start today's class. So yesterday, in the last class, we have seen how to draw the spectrum of FM signal. So as I told you already, since FM is a non-linear system, it is very difficult to draw the spectrum for any arbitrary message signal. So here we draw spectrum only to sinusoidal message signal. Okay, please remember this. So if you have seen, we have drawn spectrum for any message signal, any kind of message signal in case of AM, DSBSC, SSB, VSB. Okay, but here, so it is very difficult to draw the spectrum of any arbitrary message signal. But so in this course, we only draw spectrum of FM signal for what signal? Sinusoidal message signal only. Okay. So for that purpose, we have taken this equation S of t equal to AC summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity Jn beta cos 2 pi fc plus nfmt. Okay. So Jn be called Bessel coefficient or Bessel function. So this is how it is defined. How it is defined? Something like this. Okay. So these are the Bessel function waveforms. So one thing is very clear. So let us take this J naught of x. Okay, this red color curve. So it is zero terms. Sometimes it is zero also. Please make a note of this. Okay. So this J naught of x, it is zero also sometimes. It is positive, it is negative, and it is zero also. So it is zero approximately at 2.4. When x is 2.4, what is J naught of x? 0. At 2.4 it is 0. Here again it is 0 at 5.8. Okay. So in the same way, J1 of x, J2 of x, everything will be 0 at particular values of x. Okay. All the waveforms, they will be 0 at some point of x. Okay. So I'll give a table. So now it is not there with me. After the class, maybe I will share a table where it contains at what values of x, all these waveforms are 0, which means at what values of x, this j naught of x is 0. At what values of x, this j1 of x is 0, so on and so on. Okay, that is also very important. So these are the properties of Bessel functions. So this is very, very important property. And this is also very, very important. So we use this property for the case of narrowband FM. Because so these are the properties when the modulation index beta is very, very small compared to 1. Very, very small compared to 1. Okay. Now it is also very, very important. So please make a note of this. Summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity jn square beta equal to 1. So these are all the things we have seen. And we have drawn the spectrum. Please switch off your microphone. You're getting disturbance. Okay. Now this is a spectrum of FM signal. It contains a carrier component at FC and sidebands at FC plus FM, FC plus 2 FM, FC plus 3 FM, FC minus FM, so on, so on. So simply I can say it has a carrier component plus infinity number of sidebands at frequencies FC plus NFM. Am I right or not? So it has a one carrier component at FC and infinity number of sidebands at frequencies FC plus NFM. So here n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, n equal to minus 1, n equal to minus 2, n equal to minus 3. So in the same way, so this is a spectrum of FM signal. Now, so I told you this is about spectrum of narrowband FM signal. I ask you to draw the spectrum. So it will be similar to the spectrum of AM signal, but the only difference you get is the lower sideband algebraic sign is reversed. You will get negative sign for lower sideband. So apart from that, it is similar to the spectrum of AM signal. So these are the pair of sidebands, first pair, second pair, so on, so on. Okay. So theoretically, the bandwidth will be infinity. Okay. So mathematically, so the bandwidth will be infinity. Now that's why. So we go for a Carson's rule. which defines the bandwidth of FM signal. Okay. Now, so here, so the bandwidth B of T transmission bandwidth is approximately equal to 2 into 1 plus 1 by beta into delta F. This is a formula of Carson's rule for a bandwidth of FM signal. Now here, you know what is delta F is. What is that? It is a peak frequency deviation. Okay. What is beta? That is a modulation index. Now, so this table, if beta is very large, what will happen? So if beta is very large, 1 by beta will be very, very small. Do you agree or not? So we can make this as 0. So 1 by beta will be very, very small. So compared to 1, this will be very, very small. I can say that this will be approximately equal to 0. Now, otherwise, we can neglect this because that is very, very small. So if it is so, so it becomes 2 into delta F. This will be removed. Okay. So 2 into delta F. So 2 into delta F. Something like you can write. Okay. So if beta is very, very small, so as I told you already, if beta is very, very small means we are referring to narrowband FM. So in that sense, so if beta is small, 1 by beta will be very, very large. So this will be very, very large. Now in that scenario, we will neglect 1 because this term will be very, very large compared to 1. So that's why we can neglect this term. We can neglect 1. So what happens now finally? 2 into 1 by beta into delta F. So you get 2 into delta F by beta. What is delta F by beta? That is FM. Why? Because what is beta? Delta F by FM. Yes or not? Beta itself is delta F by FM. You can substitute here, you will get 2 FM. What is 2 FM? So that is the bandwidth of narrowband FM, or you can say that is the bandwidth of AM also. Okay. Why? Because narrowband FM is similar to AM. That's why I'm comparing narrowband FM and AM. So this table tells us what is the bandwidth if beta is very, very large and if beta is very, very small. Okay. Now this is the formula for bandwidth of a FM signal. Okay. Now, so here I've written bandwidth equal to 2 into 1 plus 1 by beta delta F. That also equal to what we can write? 2 into beta plus 1 by delta F by beta. Am I right or not? Just simplifications. So 1 plus 1 by beta equal to what? Beta plus 1 by beta, no? So same thing I've written. I hope you are okay with this. Now what is delta F by beta? That is FM. So 2 into beta plus 1 into FM. Okay. Otherwise, this is also formula of bandwidth only. I'm just manipulating everything. That's it. Why? Because so what is 2 into beta into delta beta into FM? What is beta into FM? Generally. So from this only, I got this. Okay. You do one thing. Take a pen and paper. So first write this, all of you. Write this. 2 into beta plus 1 into FM. Now this equal to, you write like this. 2 beta FM plus 2 FM. Just expansion. Otherwise, write separately. All of you. Write down 2 into beta plus 1 into FM equal to, so 2 into beta into FM plus 2 into FM. Write down this first. Is it over? So what is beta into FM? So 2 is anyway common. Okay, you can write otherwise you can write like this. 2 into, so beta FM plus FM. Okay, you can keep 2 outside. 2 into beta FM plus FM. What is beta into FM? What is beta into FM generally? Delta F. Okay, 2 into delta F plus FM. So same formula I can write in this form also. So you don't get confused by these things. So the formula is same. I'm writing in different forms. Okay. So this is a one form. It's another form. This is another form. You remember this one. That is enough. You remember any one. This will be enough. 2 into beta plus 1 into FM. This is a formula of bandwidth of FM signal given by Carson. So simply it is called a Carson's rule. So now, so what is the basis for this bandwidth? How can you say that the bandwidth? That is the question is, How can you say that this is a bandwidth? What is the significance of this bandwidth formula? So can you tell me what I'm trying to say here? Anyone? Yesterday we made one point. What is that point? So if you take k pairs of sidebands, hello, if you take k pairs of sidebands, what is the bandwidth? Yesterday you told me the answer also. Can anyone tell me now?
2K.
So in the spectrum, if I take k pairs, I'm not taking all pairs. I'm taking only k pairs. First pair, second pair, third pair, so on, so on, k pairs. If that is so, what is the bandwidth? What is the bandwidth?
2KFM, sir.
2kfm. Now, in the same way, can you tell me here how many pairs of sidebands I am taking from this formula? How many pairs of sidebands am I taking? So 2kfm equal to 2 into beta plus 1 into fm. What is k equal to now?
Beta plus 1.
K equal to beta plus 1, which means I am taking beta plus 1 number of sidebands. Why? Because it is proved that so beta plus 1 number of beta plus 1 pair of sidebands contains 98% of the power. The logic is, so it is proved already. Okay, I am not done here, but so beta plus 1 number of sidebands contains 98% of the power. Okay, so remaining sidebands contains only 2%. That's why I'm neglecting those 2%, those sidebands. Okay, the logic is, so beta plus 1 number of sidebands contain 98% of the power. Okay, here, so if you go to spectrum, as I told you already, so the relative amplitude of the sidebands is decreasing. Okay, this is having more amplitude. It is having somewhat less. It is somewhat less. Okay, so the relative amplitude of the sidebands will be decreasing like this. Okay, so that's why there is no need to take all sidebands into account. What I do is I'll take only sidebands which contain 98% of the power. Okay, it is proved that so beta plus 1 number of sidebands contain 98% of the power. So that's why they are called significant sidebands. What they are called? Significant sidebands. So that's why we take only beta plus 1 number of sidebands. So that's why the bandwidth will be 2 into beta plus 1 into fm. Okay, so that is given by Carson. Okay, so it is proved already. So I will share the proof also. So at the end of the chapter, I will share all the proofs. So if you're interested, you can go through the proof also. Okay, but as of now, so just remember like this. Okay, see, I told you in the starting itself. So in this course, we are studying. In this semester, we are studying 2 courses. Okay, so before there were 2 separate courses, but they are merged now. So that's why I'm giving only a brief introduction to each and every concept. Okay, so please make a note of that. Right. So if you see properly, this first unit itself is one course actually. Otherwise, so the 2 units of this course are a separate course, that was AC. Okay, so 2 units is nothing but one course actually. Okay, so that is the importance of syllabus now. So we don't have much time to complete the syllabus actually. So that's why I'm not giving all the proofs, but just go through them once. I'll share the PPT later. So if you're interested, you can go through the proof also. Okay, but just remember like this: the concept is, it is proved that so these beta plus 1 number of sidebands contains 98% of the power. So that is enough, right? So we don't bother about 2% power. So that's why we take only this bandwidth. That is required bandwidth for a transmission of FM signal. Okay. Now you do one thing. You can solve this problem, all of you. Note it down, please. Fc equal to 100 megahertz. Sorry, 10 megahertz. Delta F equal to 50 kilohertz. FM equal to 5 kilohertz, 50 kilohertz to 50 kilohertz. Then find the bandwidth of FM signal. Okay. So that is homework. So you tell me the answer in the next class. Okay. As of now, just note down this, please. All of you. So you find out the bandwidth. Is it over? So I'll check the answer in the next class. Okay. So here you have to find the bandwidth of FM signal by using this Carson's formula. What is the logic here? You just find out the bandwidth of FM signal by using this Carson's rule. That's it. Okay. Okay, right. So that is about bandwidth. Now, as of now, so FM is concerned, we have seen how to generate. So let me go back once. We have seen how to generate. What is the generation? It is an indirect method of generation. So this is how we generate FM signal. It is an indirect method. Why? Because first we are generating narrowband FM somehow. After that, we are converting this narrowband FM into wideband FM by using some frequency multiplier. Okay. So this is a generation of wideband FM, or this is a modulation of FM. Okay. You can simply assume like that. Now this is a spectrum. We have run the spectrum also. Before that, so what is the transmitted power of FM signal? So that will be a constant. How much is that? What is the transmitted power of FM signal? Anybody? I told you in the last class also. What is that? Anyone? What is the transmitted power of FM signal? Going to remember? AC square by 2. So here this transmitted power does not depend upon modulation index. But in case of AM, yes, it depends upon modulation index. How much is the total transmitted power in case of AM signal? PC into 1 plus mu square by 2. But here it is simply AC square by 2. Okay, so that is the difference. Now, so this is a narrowband FM. So that is special case of FM, you can say, when beta is very, very small compared to the 1. Generation, transmitted power. So this is spectrum and this is a bandwidth. Now, so can you tell me what is the difference between FM signal and AM signal? What differences you can observe? So there is a one subtle difference, that is in AM, so the transmitted power depends upon modulation index. Correct. In FM, transmitted power is independent of modulation index. Okay, that is clear. Next, in AM, the bandwidth is independent of modulation index. What is the bandwidth of AM signal? 2W. But here in FM, the bandwidth is depends on modulation index beta. You can see here. Okay, so here in AM, so the transmitted power depends upon modulation index. In FM, the bandwidth depends upon modulation index. So that is the difference you can observe. Am I right or not? So far so good? Hello. Okay. So I hope you can make this point out. So you solve this problem. Okay. Right. So let us go to the demodulation. This will be the last concept compared to the FM. When it comes to FM, this will be the last topic. Now, so it is called discriminators. What are they called? Discriminators. This is the demodulation of FM signal. So there are other methods also, but we will study only important ones when it comes to modulation and demodulation. Now here what is happening? S soft is the FM signal. Am I okay? Now this is a differentiator and followed by ED. You know already ED means envelope detector. Okay. So here, so first we do differentiation of S of t and we apply that to the ED, envelope detector. So the output will be M of t, more or less M of t. So this is the discriminator, that is called discriminator. So that is the demodulation of FM signal. Okay. So now let us go to the S of t. This is the equation of FM signal. Okay. AC cos 2 pi f t plus 2 pi kf integration 0 to t M of tau data. Okay. Now, so here then S of t is this much. This is how S of t. Now, if you apply S of t here to the differentiator, you get S dash of t. Now, can you tell me what is S dash of t? Can you do it now, please? All of you, differentiate this equation with respect to t. Can you do it now? Please tell me the answer. What do you get? Please. Anyone? I just asking you to differentiate s of t with respect to t. Now tell me what do you get? Please. Anyone? You just differentiate this. Am I audible first of all? Hello. So can you tell me what is the differentiation of that signal? Simple question, no? Anyone? I'm just asking simple questions. What is the answer? Right. So this is the differentiation. AC is AC only. Cos becomes minus sign, no? As it is. Next, this is the differentiation of this term should be done. D by dt of this term. What do you get finally? This is the answer. What is the answer? Minus AC sine 2 pi fct plus 2 pi kf integration 0 to t m of tau d tau into 2 pi fc plus 2 pi kf m of t. Is it right at least? Can you verify? Hello. Yeah, this is how we get finally. So minus AC sine 2 pi fct plus 2 pi kf m of t sine 2 pi fct plus 2 pi kf integration 0 to t m of tau d tau. Is it right at least? Can anybody verify this? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Now tell me. So this is what is the envelope of this signal now? This is S dash of t. What is this? S dash of t. Okay. So this is differentiation of S of t. Nothing more than that. This is differentiation of S of t. That is S dash of t. Okay. Now what is the envelope of this signal? What is that? AC 2 pi fct plus 2 pi kf m of t. Now this is envelope of S dash of t. Now actually it is looking like to particular modulation scheme. What is that? Can you tell me anyone? It is similar to one type of modulation. What is that? So here this is S dash of t. Now the envelope of this signal is this much. What is this? It is similar to one type of modulation scheme. What is that? What is that? So you can write AC 2 pi, you can take AC 2 pi common. You get like AC 2 pi FC common. You take 2 pi FC outside the bracket. What do you get? 2 pi FC outside the bracket. Okay. Now it becomes 1 plus KF by FC into M of t. This is the envelope of signal. It is similar to what kind of modulation? Can anybody tell me the answer?
Frequency.
Why frequency? It is a frequency modulation only, no? It is simply AM signal, no? What is AM equation? AC into 1 plus Km of t. It is similar to the envelope of AM signal. Don't you agree? See, what is AM equation? AC 1 plus Km of t cos 2 pi fct, isn't it? Now, what is the envelope of that signal? AC into 1 plus Km of t. So it is also similar. So AC 2 pi fct is anyway it's a constant. Now instead of Ka, what do you have? Kf by Fc. Okay. Now output of the ED will be, so if you apply this to the ED, what do you get? You get, what do you get? You get as AC 2 pi Kf m of t. Otherwise you get proportional to m of t. So this will be the output. Output will be proportional to m of t. Are you with me or not? All of you, please look at this once. Okay. See here, what is happening here is, so we are taking S of t. S of t is FM signal. So we are differentiating that FM signal. We are getting S dash of t. So this is S dash of t finally. This is S dash of t. Okay. Now, if you compare with this AM signal, what is AM signal? AC 1 plus K m of t cos 2 pi fct. That is similar to AM signal only, basically. Okay. Now, so what is the purpose of ED? It will detect the envelope of the signal. Yes or not? Now, for this signal, what is the envelope? So this is the sign of something. Leave it. This will be the envelope. Please make a note of this. What is the envelope? Actually, minus is there, but you can neglect that. AC 2 pi fct plus 2 pi kf m of t. This is the envelope. Okay. So if you pass S dash of t through ED, so ED will give you envelope of S dash of t. Don't you think so? So if you pass any signal through ED, it will detect the envelope of that signal. I told you already. In the same way, if you pass S dash of t through ED, the output will be envelope of S dash of t. Now here, what is the envelope of S dash of t? This much. Okay. Now output will be this much. So finally, if you remove this one term, constant term, output will be proportional to m of t. Okay. But so what is the logic? ED will be acting or performing better if and only if the modulation index is less than or equal to 1. Okay. Now here, what is mu here? Actually, I told you mu equal to mod of Ka m of t. Okay, so you can remove that maximum minimum, that is not much important. So mu equal to mod of K m of t in case of AM signal. But in case of Kf, what I have? Kf by Fc. So you forget about these constants. Anyway, they are amplitudes. Okay. So we should be giving importance to this Kf by Fc only. So mu equal to mod of Ka m of t. But here we don't have Ka. What do we have? Kf by Fc. That's why Kf by Fc m of t. It should be less than 1. So Fc should be greater than Kf m of t. Kf mod m of t. Okay. Now, so if m of t equal to some am cos 2 pi fm t, what is mod of m of t? Am. So Fc should be greater than equal to Kf am. What is Kf into am? That is delta f. Now finally, Fc should be greater than equal to delta f. Typically always true. Okay. Now for the ED to be operating perfectly, or for the better performance of ED, the carrier frequency Fc must be greater than equal to peak frequency deviation. This will be always true, always. Mostly it will be true. So we don't need to worry about this. Okay. So simply I want to say ED will be performing better. Without any doubt, ED will be performing better. Okay. Now, so this is the demodulation of FM signal. It is called as discriminator. Now, what is doing is simply we are taking FM signal. First, we are differentiating. Okay, we get S dash of t, and that will be applied to envelope detector. Now you will get output as m of t. So that is the demodulation of FM signal. It is one of the ways of demodulating FM signal, but there are other ways also. Okay, that they are not much important to us as of now. So you just study about this demodulation FM known as discriminator. Is it okay? So these are simple calculations. You don't worry about this. The important thing to be remembered is, so this is the envelope of S dash of t. Okay, So input to the ED is S dash of t. Now output of ED should be envelope of that given input signal S dash of t itself. Don't you agree with me or not? Okay. Now that's why output of ED will be this much only. Envelope of S dash of t only. This is output. So if you remove this DC term, you get this as output. Okay. So so we know already ED will be having faithful output if and only if the modulation index will be less than or equal to 1. Okay. So what is the formula of modulation index of AM signal? Generally mod of Ka M of t. That will be the generalized formula. But here we don't have Ka here. We have, instead of Ka, I have Kf by Fc. Then what should I write? Mu equal to mod Kf by Fc M of t. It should be less than 1. So Fc should be greater than equal to Kf mod M of t. This is what we will get. But here, let us take M of t is some sinusoidal message signal. M of t is, let us take AM cos 2 pi FMT. Now mod of M of t will be AM. So here Fc should be greater than equal to Kf into AM. We know already Kf into AM equal to delta F, that is also known as peak frequency deviation. Now finally, Fc should be greater than equal to delta F. What is the condition? So this condition is very, very important for the better performance of ED. Okay, that is also very, very important, but it is always true generally. So we don't need to worry about this condition, but you just remember that. So for the better performance of ED in case of frequency demodulation, the carrier frequency must be greater than equal to peak frequency deviation delta F. Okay, so this is about demodulation of FM signal. Okay, now, so any doubts, please?
Sir,
tell me, ma.
Sir, why we are differentiating?
See, that is the whole thing, no? So here, if you differentiate, so what do you get? So you will get M of t here. What do you get? So you have a integration here, no? So if you differentiate, you get M of t. Okay. Now if you differentiate the signal, so the envelope contains message signal. Are you with me? So if you differentiate this signal S of t,
Yes, sir.
so S dash of t. Now here, what happens is, now envelope contains message signal. Is it okay? Now, if whenever envelope follows message signal, you can simply demodulate by using ED. That is the basic. That is the whole concept of ED. What ED will do? It will trace the envelope of the given signal. If envelope follows message signal, ED will be having output as M of t. Okay. So that's why we do differentiation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now this is simple calculations. I hope you can do this. Okay. So after the class, please just go through this. So I request everyone to make notes. Okay. So without notes, you can't learn anything. Just don't listen to videos or something like that. No, you must make notes. Is it okay, all of you? So you make a notes. Okay, that will be very, very useful to you. Am I clear? Okay. So one more thing. So this semester, the whole semester will be online classes only. So we don't expect anything conventional now. So for time being, we don't expect anything conventional. Our classroom teaching will not be possible in this semester. So everything will be online only, almost. So so it is better to make notes now. Okay. So don't wait for something to happen. No. So mostly this semester you will be studying in the online mode only. Is it okay? So that's why make a notes. Is it clear? Okay. So listen to the videos, look at the PPT and make notes. Make your own notes. Okay. So I'm trying my level best to write the PPTs very clearly. Okay. So I'm trying my level best to make PPTs very, very clearly, but I will improve. So after the completion of unit itself. Okay. So please make notes. That is very, very important. Okay. Now, so any doubts? Any more doubts, please? So if no doubts, let us proceed now. Okay. See, what I'm saying is, I am discussing some of the important topics concerned to each and every modulation scheme. So there are so many methods of generation of FM signal and demodulation of FM signal also. I'm not discussing all these things right now. I'm discussing one method of generation, one method of demodulation only. because I told you already we are studying two courses simultaneously, something like that. Okay, so now, so can you tell me what is the modulation now? Can you define modulation? I'm simply asking what is the modulation. I am not asking specifically what is the amplitude modulation, what is the frequency modulation, what is the phase modulation. Okay, I'm simply asking what is the modulation. Okay, so this is the definition. What is that? The process of altering the characteristics of the amplitude, frequency, or phase angle of the high frequency signal in accordance with the instantaneous values of the modulating wave is called modulation. This is the this is the whole definition of modulation. Okay, here. So if you alter the amplitude, it is called amplitude modulation. If you alter the frequency, it is called frequency modulation. If you alter the phase, it is called phase modulation. But this is the overall definition of modulation. What is that? That is the overall definition of modulation. Okay. So if anybody asks you what is the modulation, you must tell this definition. You must tell them this kind of definition. They may not ask you what is the amplitude modulation, what is the frequency modulation, what is the phase modulation. But simply, if anyone asks you what is the modulation, you must tell them this definition. What is that? So the process of altering the characteristics of amplitude, frequency, phase of the high frequency signal means carrier actually. High frequency signal means carrier. Okay. So the process of altering the characteristics of the amplitude, frequency, phase of the carrier in accordance with the message signal is called modulation. Okay. Here I am not saying specifically what is the definition of amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, phase modulation, all those things. Combinedly, this is the definition of modulation. So please make a note of this, all of you. Okay. Now, so why to modulate a signal first of all? Okay. Why to modulate a signal? Okay. Now this is also one of the important concepts you should know. Okay. So if you modulate a signal, there is something called multiplexing is possible. Okay, I will tell you what is a multiplexing in the next coming classes, but you might have idea at least what is a multiplexing. What is multiplexing? Can you tell me what is multiplexing?
Mixing to high frequencies.
Yeah, so basically multiplexing means transmitting more number of signals through same channel. Okay, so that is the basic definition of multiplexing. You might have studied multiplexer, no? You might have studied multiplexer, don't you? 2 cross 1 multiplexer, 4 cross 1 multiplexer, 8 cross 1 multiplexer. So there, what are you doing? So input side, we have more number of inputs, 2, 4, 8, 16, so on and so on. Output side, we have only one output. Okay, in the sense, so we are transmitting more number of signals through same channel. So when it comes to communication, multiplexing means transmitting more number of signals through same channel. Okay, so that is possible because of modulation. I will tell you what is multiplexing in the coming classes. But so because of modulation, multiplexing is possible. You might have studied multiplexer in your DEC course, 2 power n into 1 we call. So we have more number of inputs, but less than only one output. In the sense, so apply same thing to the modulation, I mean communication point of view. So we are transmitting more number of signals through same channel. That is the multiplexing. Okay, so mixing is possible. All these things are possible because of modulation. Okay, now, so that is the first point. Is it okay? First point, all of you, anyone, please. All of you, please. So the first point is about multiplexing. Okay, so without interference, we have to transmit more number of signals through same channel. That is the concept actually. Okay, so if you transmit more number of signals through same channel, obviously you will get interference. You will get interference. See, so it is something like, you know, crosstalk. You take a mobile. Okay, so sometimes what happens? So suppose you are talking to your friend, you will get interference from other person also. That is called mutual interference. Okay, so that happens whenever other persons is using your channel. Okay, so that is how we get interference. So to avoid that, we need some proper modulation. So using modulation, remember like this. Using modulation, we can transmit more number of signals through same channel. Okay, so we'll discuss elaborately about these things in the coming classes. Okay, now next one is antenna requirement. So this is very important. Now, so here what we do is I told you already, right? So we transmit. Suppose we modulate, we transmit. How we transmit? Using antenna. Okay, so for every transmission, not only transmission, reception, or for transmitting and receiving, we need antenna. Okay, in mobile also there is antenna. Okay, so inside the mobile there will be antenna. Do you know this? Okay, now so if you see the earlier mobiles, okay, so when the in the 1980s when the mobiles came for the first time, so they were having antennas outside the mobile and the top of the mobile. Have you seen at least? Okay, on the top of the mobile there will be some antennas. Have you seen anyone? I mean, at least in the maybe TVs also at least. Have you seen them? So in the early mobiles, when they were introduced for the first time, they were having antennas at the top of the mobile. Okay. Now, so they're keeping inside the mobile. That is the only difference. So we need antennas for transmission and receiver also. Without antennas, nothing is possible. Especially wireless communication is not possible without antennas. Okay. Now, so for the effective signal transmission, the antenna should be at least 1/4 of the wavelength of the signal. Okay. So this is the concept of antenna. What antenna says is, so to transmit any signal, the height of the antenna should be lambda by 4. Minimum height of the antenna should be lambda by 4. So this is the antenna theory. We call monopole antenna, dipole antenna, all those things. Have you studied about antennas anywhere? Hello, just let me know. Have you studied anything about antennas till now? Please answer me.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So you just remember like this. So we have antenna. So through antenna we radiate actually. Okay. So we radiate into free space. We call it a free space. Free space means nothing is there, no wires. Okay. So you take a radio, at least AM radio. It is antenna. Have you seen or not? Hello. So in AM radio there will be antenna. That is called telescopic antenna. You can make it longer. You can make it short also. Have you seen or not? Anyone? Please. It is called telescopic antenna. So you can make it longer. You can make it shorter also. Have you anyway seen or not? Okay. So why we make long?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, to get a better reception. So if you don't get signal, we make it long by pulling it up. Okay. It is something like silver color. It is having some head also. Okay, you can refer in the net also. That is, we can make it long, we can make it short also. We can pull it up. Okay, so the height of the antenna should be lambda by 4, 1/4 of the wavelength. That is antenna theory. Okay, we'll discuss theory later if possible. So you know already. So the wavelength will be, what is the wavelength actually? C equal to F lambda. What is C? What is C there?
Light of speed of light.
C equal to F into lambda. What is lambda equal to? C by F. All of you, please make it, write it down, all of you. C equal to F lambda. Before that, write down. H equal to lambda by 4. Write down, all of you. The height of the antenna should be lambda by 4. I have written. So the antenna height should be lambda by 4. 1/4 of the wavelength. Write down. H equal to lambda by 4. But C equal to F lambda. Lambda equal to C by F. Now what is H equal to? Anyone? Please. What is H equal to now?
C by 4F.
How much? Tell me. C by
C by
4f. Okay. Now H equal to inversely proportional to what?
frequency.
Frequency. Write down. H is inversely proportional to, or H is proportional to 1 by f. Write down all of you. I told you already. Please always keep a pen and paper with you. Just don't just simply sit with your mobile. Now H is inversely proportional to f, which means if the frequency is more, if frequency is small, H should be more. Means in the same way. So if the frequency is small, antenna will be having some kilometers of length. Okay, but if the signal frequency is some megahertz, antenna size will be very, very small. Okay, now you can ask me, so how it is related to modulation? Can you tell me now? Who will tell the answer? So the antenna height is inversely proportional to frequency. But how does modulation affects the height of the antenna? Or how does the modulation affect the frequency? Anyone?
In modulation, we increase frequency, sir.
Yeah, that is a good answer. So, see, I told you already. Generally, all the message signals that we transmit in our day-to-day life are baseband signal. Okay, suppose you take your voice signal, it is having very, very low frequency. How much frequency? 4 kilohertz. You substitute frequency equal to 4 kilohertz in the formula. What is the height you get? All of you? Height equal to C by 4f, no? Substitute f equal to 4 kilohertz. How much height you get? Tell me the answer now. C equal to 3 into 10 power 8. Am I right or not? You tell me. So if f equal to 4 kilohertz, what is the height of the antenna? Please. Anyone? Please tell me the answer. I am asking simple questions. Don't you substitute that in that equation and tell me the answer. Anyone? Please.
.75 into 10 to the power of 7.
So it is some kilometers, no? Yeah, you're saying some answer, no? Tell me answer, ma. Tell me. Please tell me the answer.
Three 3.75 into 10 to the power of 7.
Something that is meters, no? Tell me in kilometers. Height, no, height. Height can be any meters or kilometers also.
300 by 16 kilometers.
So some kilometers you required. Okay, some kilometers. Which means, so if you transmit your voice directly using antenna, if at all, what the height of the antenna should be? Kilometers. So it is practically impossible. Okay, so but if you modulate, I told you. So the basic idea of modulation is frequency translation. Okay, now your low frequency signal becomes high frequency signal. So when a frequency is more, height will be very, very less. Okay, so you take your mobile. So if you want to transmit your voice without modulation, you need antenna height of some kilometers, which is practically not feasible at all. Okay, who will design antenna height of some kilometers? It's meaningless, isn't it? But if you do modulation, so the frequency of your signal will be increased to some megahertz. Then whenever frequency is more, antenna height becomes some, it may become millimeters or centimeters. It comes down to millimeters, centimeters. So that is okay. Centimeters, millimeters is okay. You can design antenna height of some centimeters and millimeters. Okay. So that is one of the importance of modulation. Is it okay, all of you? Any doubts here, please? Please. So if there are no doubts, I will proceed further. Please. Okay. So let us take a last point, one more point. Short operating range. This is obviously, so if the frequency is less, okay, it won't travel more distance normally. So if frequency is more, it will travel more distance. That is a short operating range. So in order to increase the frequency of your message signal, we do modulation. So otherwise, by doing modulation, we increase the frequency of our message signal so that it can travel to longer distances. Okay. Okay. So that is about need for modulation. Now, so yeah, so till now we have discussed major types of modulation schemes, analog modulation schemes. That is amplitude modulation, frequency modulation. Mostly we have discussed amplitude modulation, frequency modulation. So in amplitude modulation, we have discussed some varieties like DSBSC, VSB, SSB, so on, so on. We have discussed frequency modulation and phase modulation. Now let us go commercial radios. Okay. So what kind of radios do you know? Can you tell me? You know FM radio? All of you. So there are two kinds of radios, AM radio and FM radio. Now, all AM radio stations are operating from 540 to 1600 kilohertz. You take any AM station, something like Akashavani, okay? So there are so many AM radios. Do you know? So here, all the AM stations operate from 540 kilohertz to 1600 kilohertz in our country. You take any AM station, so they will be operating from this frequency ranges. So this is the carrier frequencies of each and every station. So otherwise, all the AM stations should operate in this frequency range only. This is a standardized frequency range. So by extensive research, so they have fixed these frequency ranges. So these are suitable for transmission of AM signals. Okay. Now when you go to for FM stations, they will be operating from 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. So these are standard operating ranges of FM radio stations and AM radio stations. So they have fixed these frequency ranges by extensive study and research. Okay, it is just by doing some research and extensive analysis, they have fixed these standard frequency ranges for AM stations and FM stations. You must remember them. All our AM radio stations operate in the frequency range of 540 kilohertz to 1600 kilohertz. In the same way, all our FM radio stations operate from 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. Okay, so you take Akashavani, All India radios, all are AM radios. Okay, so we have tabled some FM radios, AM radios, FM radios only. You might have known Radio City. It operates from what is the frequency? 91.1 megahertz. Big FM, it operates at 92.7 megahertz. Red FM, it operates from 93.5 megahertz. Radio Mirchi, so it operates from 98.3 megahertz. All India Radio Nizamabad, it operates from 103.2 megahertz. Okay, so these are some of the most popular FM stations. In the same way, there will be AM radio stations also. I did not mention here, but there are some AM radio stations and FM radio stations. One more thing. So this is very near to our college. What is that? All India Radio Nizamabad. Okay. So in the same way, in every district there is a FM station. Okay. You do one thing. You search for your district's FM frequency range, operating frequency. That is homework for you. Okay. In every district there will be a FM station. You do one thing. You search for your operating frequency of your district's FM radio. Okay, you can listen FM radio in the online also. AM radio, FM radio, you can design, you can listen to them in the online also. Okay, you do one thing, you just open it and listen to the FM stations, AM station in the internet also. You do that. Okay, so there is a program by Prime Minister of India. What it is called? Man Ki Baat, isn't it? So that is from the Akashvani. Okay, so that is in the AM radio. So you will be talking in the Delhi, but you can listen anywhere in the world or anywhere in the country. Do you know or not? Please. Do you know Man Ki Baat? So
Yes, sir.
PM of India will be addressing through the AM radio, but everybody can listen from anywhere in the country. So that is how we can communicate. That is called broadcasting. In the same way, so if you go to Nizamabad, otherwise if you go to your district headquarters, if you happen to go to your district headquarters, you open your FM radio, means in the mobile, open your FM radio, tune to that particular radio station, you will get it. Okay. So, but as of now, you do one thing, search for your district FM radio station, at what frequency it is operating. Okay. So try to listen to that in the online. Because the problem with FM is, can you tell me what is the difference between AM radio, FM radio? Anyone? By just observation, who will tell me the answer? Please. So we have AM radio, no? Why you need FM radio? Otherwise, tell me what is the difference between AM radio and FM radio? Just by observation. We don't need any technical knowledge. Please.
FM is fixed to only local area, whereas AM
very,
is
very, very good. Very good. FM is fixed to local area, whereas AM is larger areas actually. Okay. So you do one thing. You take these are all present in Hyderabad mostly. Maybe other cities also. Radio City, Big FM, Red FM, Radio Mirchi. They're all popular FM radio stations in Hyderabad. So they operate only in Hyderabad. So we cannot listen to them in the Basar. Okay, because they are limited to particular area. FM is limited to particular area. So let us take this Nizamabad. We cannot listen to this particular radio station in our college. No, it won't come in our college. So it is only restricted to Nizamabad city. That's it. Okay, so that's why all FMs are basically for short range communications, particular city or particular town only. But whereas AM, it is for throughout the country. That's why even though the Prime Minister of India will be talking from New Delhi, but we can listen from we can listen anywhere. Okay, that is AM and FM difference, basic difference. Okay. Now, so this table gives you some popular FM radio stations that are there in our Telangana. So this is FM radio station that is very near to our college. Okay. So in the same way, you search for your district FM radio station, at what frequency range it is operating. Try to listen to that online. If possible, listen in your mobile directly using FM app. In every mobile there is a FM app, isn't it? FM radio app. Hello. So if you happen to go to your district headquarters, try to listen to them directly. Otherwise, try to open in the online also. You'll get in the online also. Okay. So that is about some of the popular AM. AM is also there. I did not write here, but you can search for them. Now, so most commonly used intermediate frequencies for broadcast receivers are around. So you remember this, very, very important. Okay. So there is something called intermediate frequencies. Okay. For AM, this is 455 kilohertz for AM receivers. For FM receivers, it is 10.7 megahertz. Please make a note of this. Okay. So for AM radio receivers, FM radio receivers, there are something called intermediate frequencies, which are very, very important. So for AM radio, that is 455 kilohertz. For FM receivers, that is 10.7 megahertz. Okay. So that is about intermediate frequencies of AM and FM receivers. Okay, so these are all some standard values. Okay, so please make a note of them. If any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, so otherwise, we stop here. Okay, thank you.